All right, guys, welcome back. Kirby, I have a question for you. Are you comfortable with investing or owning property anywhere in the world outside of the US? And if not, why? And if yes, why?
Oh man, we're starting off crazy today, right? All right. Uh, I am comfortable owning or buying property in other countries with a caveat. The caveat is it has to be a major trading partner with the US because I deal in US dollars. So the pound, the euro, that's about as far as I go. That's the British pound and the euro. That's about as far as I go. When it comes to if I'm buying it for an investment,
Okay,
let's
okay.
now if I'm buying it, let's just say a vacation house or something like that. If the rules for that country would allow me to do so, and it's a place that I could see myself going to multiple times, either a year over a lifespan, I have no problem. Long as I fall within the rules and they'll let me do it, then I have no problem with doing that. Actually, got got a trip or two planned for a couple Latin American countries that I just want to check it out. I know it's a big expat locations, so want to check those out just to see what's going on there, find out the shakers and movers, see what's going on, see how the expats like it, and then after I go visit a couple of times, if I like it, then I might buy something just to have another spot to post up in instead of hanging out in the U.S.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting how you said that it has to be a major trading partner with the US in order for you to invest, which makes sense. I mean, I didn't even think of that. Like you want it to be a country that has those relationships because there's a lot of countries where like they have so many strict rules on like just property, like do you really own it or not? And I agree with that too because let's say for like some of these Latin American countries where their currency is way less than the dollar. And so to invest, like if you're owning a property, say like, okay, like let's say Colombia, let's say it's, the apartment is $30,000, three bed, two bath, nice apartment. The max rent you could probably get is like 130 bucks a month. So it's like that doesn't even meet the 1% rule. Like that's way off. I mean, it's crazy. So I mean it's a very different like economy. I mean, there's similarities when you like compare how they do things to like the US, but that currency difference is just huge. And now, owning like a vacation home or something, I mean, I can totally understand that, especially if it's a country that has similar like ways of living and rules as the US. But yeah, owning to like investing in countries with a lower currency is so difficult. And I mean, I do know someone that does it in the Airbnb format or model where they can actually rent to like American tourists and stuff. So that's different, but just renting to the population, the people that live in the country is extremely difficult if
Yeah.
it's a lower currency.
Yeah, and that's really my nuance of it is dealing with the currency exchanges, the rate drops, that whatever we come up with the least, let's just say if we deal with pesos and let's say we agree that it's 10,000 pesos a month, and the next thing you know, the exchange rate comes on the US to pesos, it drops by 20%. They still get to pay the 10 pesos. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
what the hell?
Yeah.
So I make it like 3 cents. I make it like 3 cents a month on it. So no, I wouldn't do I wouldn't do it with somebody. It has to be strong currency ties, not trading partners. I said trading partners, but strong currency ties where it's not a big deviation. I mean, I know the euro has made some pivots, but it's still on a close to a 1-to-1. Or, the euro is a little bit more expensive, and the British pound is more expensive. That's really where I would go with that. I've had some opportunities to invest in businesses in the EU. It wasn't for lack of capital or things like that. Just the business, the rules and regulations of the business world there was a little different. the zoning, especially of this one neighborhood bar that I want. Oh, I wanted this place bad, but the zoning of it, and then how it was a popular place, but because it was in the neighborhood, the zoning laws made it so you you couldn't have like big events unless it was like the weekend. And then if more than like I believe 6 to 8 cars was there, that was the max you can have on a weekday. And so it was very stringent. And then me, I'm capitalist to the fullest. And in the country that we had this deal in, or the city that we had this deal in, the code restriction was so heavy on because the bar was in the neighborhood that it was certain things that you couldn't do. So I'm thinking of, all the revenue that it'll generate from, football, World Cup, the Copas, everything that's going on in Euro. But this bar wasn't able to capitalize on it because of the location. Now, you can change the ambiance and you can change the aesthetics and things of a business, but one thing you can't do if it's a physical location, you can't change that. And the rules wasn't going to change for me, so that's why I backed out the deal.
Yeah, that
But
makes
besides that, you go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's countries here in Latin America or like even I know like out in Asia where like just the restrictions on real estate are so strict. Like I know in Venezuela, my sister-in-law was saying how if you rent to a married couple that has children, you cannot raise rent on them because they have children. And if you do, they can take you to court and take your property from you. Like the couple, the renters will take your property. So there's some
Right.
weird
Yeah.
laws, that just make no sense. But it's because of the politics in those countries and just making things so difficult.
Yeah, and for the viewers out there, Alex is in actually Colombia right now. I know it's you can't tell from the background because he keeps the same background every time, but that's where he's at now. So he's well versed in the Colombia Venezuela world. So I won't be investing there, but buying a house there to live there just to hang out with the locals because I love being in cultures. It's still an option out there, but yeah, but as far as investing, it'll be hard fault for me to
Yeah.
go to another country.
No,
And
I have to
for the people that's out there, go ahead.
I have to say Colombia, they're savages. They're just as capitalist as Americans. The only difference though that makes it hard is just they deal in pesos and not dollars. But the way businesses run here is like it's a very capitalistic society here, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. And for me, it's like I said, living somewhere. I mean, I understand the rules in the States a lot more. I understand the rules in a lot of the, what they call the West, the EU, British. I understand that more. And let's be honest, people, I speak English. I mean, I can't be going into the weeds trying to find out every rental law in different countries. And there's some people that's well versed that can do that. I'm just not one of them. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I'm not one of them. But to go buy a house to live somewhere, and then, like I said, if it's within the rules that allows me to do it, then I could. But it would be more in an expat situation where at least I know that it's some expats, some people that's American that's around somewhere that I can converse with. People still trying to learn English. I can't go to a place that's, it's strictly not in my language barrier. Then next thing you know, I missed a line in the contract and it's in some language I don't understand and somebody didn't translate it because they didn't know that's what I was looking for. And I get screwed over. I'm not being a part of that situation.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, with all that being said, guys, if you have any comments on this topic, please let us know down below. Share this video, subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.